Jesse Bonelli.
Jesse.
Speak on the other mic, it's louder.
Good evening. I would like to talk about my experience as a poll worker. First off, I was, I went to go watch the polls, and I was told to stand behind a cordon. I'm a member of the public. Now, the public is allowed to be part of the audit process.
Poll watcher.
Part of the
Poll watcher.
poll watcher, yeah. So I was a poll watcher. I was observing the process. It's an open process. This is supposed to be open to the public, and I was made to stand behind the ropes until I got a certification. So I got my certification, came back the next day. I checked out the, the absentee ballots. People were, it was a bipartisan group. They were counting ballots, opening ballots in front of me. I was able to check out the tallies, but everything was great. They were polite, but when it came time to the affidavits, that's when I started seeing some secrecy. I was told I could not see where they were verifying ballots. Like, ballots were being verified behind closed doors in another room. Like, they were being counted in another room. They were being processed in another room, verified, and then they were brought into another room where we then got to see them be counted. But we only knew what was going to be, we only got to see the ones that were verified. So we're kind of curious, where are the ones in the back room?
Yep.
2/3 of the ballots were thrown away that we won't get to see. We want all provisional ballots, all affidavits to count. We demand a hand count in the public view.
Yes.
We want to suspend and postpone certification of primary results. We want
Time's up, Jesse. Time's up, Jesse.
Thank you, Jesse.
Yep. Naveen Mandal.
Mandal, Naveen.
Hi, my name is Naveen Mandal. I'm a
You was there
resident.
last week, by the way.
Yeah, I never spoke. Yeah. So I'm a resident of Forest Hills, Queens. I'm here to pretty much expose a fraudulent systemic practice in the counting of your mail-in ballots at the BOE office of Queens. Upon going in as a volunteer witness last week, there are 3 steps to the process. Correct me where I'm wrong, but don't make it long. A, B, C. A, you open up the mail-in ballots. B, you scan the ballots for the counting. And then C, if something's damaged, you correct it, and then you scan it in. Fairly simple, straightforward. That should be transparent and very visible. What was actually going on was that between A and B, ballots were being carted into a middle room, a corridor room, and they were being locked out of sight. We don't know exactly how many ballots were affected in this way, where they were being spit out through the other side, of which I could not see, and then scanned in to these scan machines. Now, there were 6 tables, 2 employees each. We figured these trays are around 400 envelopes per tray. So, 2,400 envelopes within an hour or so processed, right? If you do that within 10 hours and then a couple of days, we're talking about tens of thousands of ballots that were not visible in the process. They were completely obstructed from my view and others' views, other people's views. This is fraud, right? This is corruption. You guys should do something very seriously about this.
30 seconds.
We're closing at 5 o'clock, so we just...
I understand that you're concerned about 5 o'clock.
30 seconds. 30 seconds.
2 minutes and your
I
minute
think we should bring the U.S. Attorney over here and have you guys looked into. We need the U.S. Attorney here now.
Hi, my name is Andrew Fader. I'm a resident of the Bronx. I was a volunteer poll watcher on behalf of one of the delegates, the authorized representative. When I went to go to the Bronx and in Manhattan to see the canvass of the ballots, I was not allowed to see any of the invalidation of the affidavit ballots. I said, well, in that case, how do we know that there might not be some that aren't actually invalid because those people were removed from the voter rolls like we heard about? I was told I would not be told how many invalid affidavit ballots there were. I was not allowed to know how many had been invalidated or how many would be invalidated. I was also told that thus far, as of yesterday, only 1/3 of the affidavit ballots have been canvassed. that means that there's no way that they can all be done by today. So if the board says that the affidavit ballots have all been counted, not only is that demonstrably and evidentially not true, it is also criminally negligent for the board to make an inaccurate tally, which it knows it is inaccurate. Pursuant to election law, section 9, 209, I am entitled as a poll watcher to have insight into the canvas to know how many invalid ballots there are, and I was denied that right. If the board certifies the election results, first of all, there will be a motion, there's an order to show cause on behalf of the candidates that were disenfranchised, and in addition to that,
30
the
seconds.
board itself is in violation of election law, which states it must make, to the best of its knowledge, a complete and accurate tally of all of the ballots that are not counted, which it is not doing.
As you allege, we would be prepared to certify today. The process is not complete, it is ongoing, and that is why we adjourned this hearing until Thursday.
Can you tell us how many invalid
Jonathan,
affidavits there are?
We will Thursday.
How many are
Correct.
there up till now? Because I'm an authorized representative of a delegate, and that's something
You
I'm
should be
supposed to
poll
know.
watching
Jonathan, right.
And I will say this respectfully. Organized campaigns that send poll watchers often request and are given copies of all of the affidavit envelopes, so when they're sitting at the table, they know what they're looking at.
And I asked Frank Tosi for that, and he wouldn't give it to me.
When did you ask him?
I've asked him several times. If he's
Ma'am,
here
you
in the
spoke
room, he
already.
could-
Did you put your request in writing officially from the campaign?
Yes, and my delegate called their legal department, and the legal department said that I was not entitled to that information.
Whose legal department?
There's
our
our
legal
election
department.
department in Savino.
Our legal department's right there.
Raphael?
No one said you weren't entitled to the information. I told you, had you asked in advance before the canvass was started, you would have been
So I
allowed
have
to
to
make
ask
copies.
before, and when it's going out,
You
we can't have
cannot
it.
stop the
because then we
canvass
set- then
and
we
pull
set
all
back
the
to-
envelopes to
We
make
want to know
copies
how many
once
have
they
been
started.
invalidated up till this point.
Well, that's not something the legal department.
We're entitled to that information pursuant to Section 9, 209 of election law, which states that a watcher in the polls may observe the canvass, including the invalidation of the affidavits. And if the Board of Elections does not provide that information, that is criminal negligence!
One, how can we stop certification? Two, why are we not allowed to see the ballot application? And three, why is the process so disgustingly, horrendously behind? From what I've witnessed at this polling board, it has been set up to go and give least transparency possible in the viewing process, as well as it's just backed up. I really want to know how we stop this certification, and to why, as any of the poll watchers, not to go allowed to see the certification or the certification and validations of these affidavits.
The
So why is it done in a nonpartisan
affidavit
room?
process is an open and public process.
Apparently, we can't see the first.
I was kept waiting. Stop interrupting.
If you have a poll watcher certificate or you're
I-
a candidate running for
I have the
office,
poll watcher.
otherwise it's not public.
I have the poll watching on there. Why can I not see the verifications of the affidavits? Why can, like, when it's done in a back room, apparently bipartisan on Republicans and Democrats, why can't someone, we have the public, as representative, watch this verification? And also, tell me too, this is a very important question, how do we stop this certification?
Tell us. How? We need more time. We need more time.
Get a court order.
We're working on it. We're working on it.
You get a court order.
Thanks for serving the people.
All right, gentlemen,
All right.
have a good day.
You get a court order.
Okay.
Likely that I campaigned for Melissa Martirito, and it was a smooth campaign, everything went well. When I attempted to become a poll worker for this campaign, on behalf of Bernie Sanders, well, it wasn't on behalf of Bernie Sanders, but problems began. I received a letter for the training day 2 days after, so I couldn't become a poll worker. So I became a poll watcher for Bernie Sanders, and I have too many irregularities to report. And I will politely tell you that I'm retaining counsel to start a federal investigation because what you have done has been done in Kiev, in the Ukraine. You're very cynical about it. You have staged a coup against democracy. You will tell me, oh, but that's anecdotal. I was prevented by all means from gathering evidence. all right? But I'll see you at the federal courthouse.
Yes.